Good night, fellow punters. Christmas Eve, the clock on the wall says 5 to 10. About the time I was expecting, but I had intended to be shaved and have a bit more to have eaten by now, but we're doing okay. The bus is ready to rock, picking up Ronan at about 7:30 or 25 to 8, and he has a couple of hams and he has a bit of gear with him, so we'll be heading to the smoke. All is well on this end. Got the generator today. Fuel, turkeys got delivered there a few minutes ago. Gravy, and they've way too much stuff and way too much. There's three. I said it, but it was cooked anyway. Way too much stuff and way too much gravy. But if we get rid of all of that, anyway, it'll be a miracle. I put up that video last night because I had no horses ready. I was busy as hell yesterday. I'm busy today too, but I got a few hours in the afternoon and picked out a few. With a couple of nice winners on Saturday. Got a bit of luck with Triple Trade. How he stood on his feet, I do not know. When he went, he's a strong little horse to escape without being on the deck. And then the other one was slowing up, but he was a willing winner. That's the third time he has won for us. And then Lucia sustained money all day for that horse. She was 12s on Thursday. It was 10s the other morning, and then it was into 8s. It was off 9 to 2. I was thinking if the ground and the distance, that's why she can't. Twice she was in Cheltenham with the hill. It's over the 2 miles. Then you see, and nice ground. She's a better mare. So it's a grand way to get out on the last race before the Christmas. Gitmaker, he jumped too big. He's a novice yet, nearly, so he'll come good. He'll win a couple of races down the line. We'll just keep an eye on him for the next time. A shout out to a few new passengers: Raymond Carolyn, Andy W, and Davy Cairns. You're all very welcome. Take your seat anywhere you wish. Upstairs. Downstairs is full. Steo, our barman, has gone to Spain for the Christmas, and he's no apps working on his phone or something or whatever over there, so he won't be doing much betting, or else he won't be able to get on YouTube or something. I don't know. I had an email for him. So happy days to him, and I hope he enjoys himself. Money donated by William Masterson, David Ching, Martin from the Wales Racing Club, otherwise known as Crotley, Darren Mimna, Covington 1, Bill Butler, Paul Butler, and Phil Herbert from O'Brien's Pub in Charleville in Cork. It came in there a while ago by Pigeon, Cork Pigeon. So thanks very much. I didn't ask for it, but I know a few said last year, you're doing what you're doing, so they want to do what they're doing, so appreciate it. You're a great bunch. Now, we'll get on to what I tried to do. I went through every race on every race course, and I tried to pick a horse at every meeting. I couldn't do so in, I think it was Sedgefield and Market Raisin. Keep an eye on John Joe O'Neill Jr. in Sedgefield. He's 3 or 4 rides for Jenny Candish. A couple of them are live ones. And he's a ride in the bumper on Walter's horse as well. Just keep an eye if there's money, because he could have won probably anywhere on St. Stephen's Day, Boxing Day. So by him choosing there, you'd imagine that he's going for at least one winner anyway. That's my take on it. Market Raisin, there was one, but I realised then that it was in a handicap chase. It's the top weight. I can't remember the name of it. And it was a favourite. It was too short for going in a handicap chase first time. So I have sort of gone through the other ones, and I'll try to get a bet I've a couple at Kempton, we'll say. I think there's a bet in the first race, the 12:45. It's a 2.5 mile novices handicap chase. The horse I chose was Russian Ruler for Nico and Nicky. The Nico and Nicky combination. This has had wind surgery several times. They won a bumper first time out. Ran a few decent races, and after its second wind surgery, it won 2 races, including one at Kempton of 127. And the last day, first time in a novice handicap chase over what it looks like an inadequate 2 miles. It was behind Jello, and Jello has won since. And Persian Time. That one on Saturday. Rich Hill hasn't ran. But if he was kept at the back of the field the entire race. Where are we here? I thought I had that set up. Now we'll get to it. Oh, damn you.
Shake of the reins now from Charlie Deutsch to get a bit closer as they head to the
with
final.
the white hat at the back.
In the centre, he could be the one. On the near side, Yellow. On the far side is Rich Hill. Persian Time is creeping a bit closer. Then Lallygag and then Russian Ruler, who's not completely out of this yet. Heading down towards the second last. He could be the one now, joined by Yellow on the outside, and the favourite Yellow. And fourth was Russian Ruler.
The way he ran on there suggested to me that was his first time in a chase, and he was cautious with him, and when you gave him one tip on the rear end, he skedaddled along nicely. I thought that was worth the chance because there isn't much else. There is in the Athos there. You have Hermes Allen, you have the French horse over. That looks like it's a bit of a machine. And then you have Giovinco. We backed that the last day against Stay Away Frey. That's going to be a great race altogether. I don't know how. The French horse hasn't ran the 3 mile. It has won the other. But what did it beat? We don't know. But it was very impressive. And James Reverley is no slouch. And Johnny Burke rode it before. So 2-6. It won in a pulling a cart. Then we have Constitution Hill. The bet there probably would be without the favourite. If I spotted it and I choose something on Tuesday, I'll put it up. We come to the King George. Only 6 declared. Jerry Calam didn't go on account of the ground. We have a surprise in that Hewick wasn't going to run there a month ago, and then he was entered and declared. Frodon, a past winner. Shishkin didn't start the last day, but that'll like the trip and it'll like the ground, goodish ground. Brave Man's Game won it last year on a losing streak. Allaho came back in the John Durkin to win handsomely on heavy ground. Tired a bit coming up the stretch, but I hope, and that was, only over 2.5 mile. But if you go back to the good to yielding ground in Punchestown in 2022, won by a distance, 14 lengths, by Clandis Obo, who's the former winner of this as well. If he's back to that form, out in front, That's my selection, actually. It done us a good turn in 22 in Cheltenham. It was part of a double. I can't remember what the other one was. And if the one coming from behind, I think Shishkin could be picking up the pieces. There is pace. The real whacker is a pacey horse. Braveman's Game likes to be up there. Hewitt likes to be up there. Frodon likes to be up there. So if Allaho gets them to make a mistake, that's the hope. So that's my selection, Allaho in the King George. There's a maiden hurled in. Nicky has one as well that's fancied in it. And I didn't, that was too difficult. Now we go to Wincanton. The only bet I could see on the entire card was in the Boxing Day handicap hurl over 1 mile, 7 furlongs and 50 yards. The one I came down on was Ventara. An each way bet. The reason being, it ran pretty well 2 runs back, like in its first time in a handicap hurl. You can see that the handbrake was on several times there. In a novice hurl and 2 maiden hurls. First time in a handicap hurl, it was second to a fairly decent joke, and it drifted from, I think, 6s out to 12s, and they weren't expecting much. It went up a pound for that, and it was keen, it didn't settle, and it was over 2-4, and it's back to 2 mile again. So I thought that might be an each way bet. That's the only bet I could see at Wincanton. Now, if I was normally picking, I wouldn't, but I just wanted to be fair to all the racetracks, any people that might be going to it. And it's what price is it at all? $7 to 1, 15 to 2, $9 to 1 there, paying 3 places. The grand, even if he was placed, make a nice bit of profit. We go to Weatherby. We go to the Rolling Merrick. There's a race I love every year. But it's difficult enough this year because of a lot of horses that hasn't ran the run of first time out. And if we look at a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 7, 7, 8, 7. So since 2010, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of the last 10 have been 7-year-olds and 2 8-year-olds. So who's 9 in it? Where do I see now? Empire Steel is 9, and Houston, Texas is 9. And that leaves 4 8-year-olds. There's no 7-year-old in it this year. Empire Steel would have won this a couple of years ago, and he fell, I think it was at the second last. It ran a decent enough race the last day, but it was longer than 3 mile. Was it 3 mile 2? Into Overdrive won this last year, but it had a couple of runs prior to it winning. Does he know goes fresh, carrying a big weight, but it's classy. 9 to 2 shot. If you look at it, won on the 7th of October 2020. That was first out. Then in 18th of October 2021, 325 was second to him. Last year it fell. It fell at the first, but we were on it that day. But actually, a horse careered into the side of him and knocked him. And he had to fall. And we were on him then the next time, and he bet Eva's Oscar in Cheltenham, and he won it very nicely. But the ground then was, it was good ground, I thought, after that. They put him away. Bit of soft, good soft in place. It should be good enough. David Bass. Hope he doesn't plough him into it, but he's a good jumper. Now it's going to be a big ask to carry top weight and win it first time out, but he seems to be geared for it. Fontaine Collonge, that was backed heavily into favouritism the last year. It's unseated at the first in a race. In Sandown, what were we on that day? It was heavy ground. We were on Beauport. Ran on to be second. But there was a lot of money for Fontaine Collonge after wind surgery. But that was 3.5 miles. This is back to 3. So the Royal America, I always like to have a bet in the Royal America. What did we do last year in it? I think into Overdrive. When Lakeview Lad won that several years back, won it at what price was he at all? 5-1. It was one of my bigger bets on Stevens' day that year. We go to Aintree in the Grade 1, the Tolworth. The two at the top of the market are 4-year-olds, and a 4-year-old has never won this since 2004. To go back that far, no 4-year-old has won it. And the last time that they ran together, they ran against each other, what was it? Tell her the name. It was second to Django Baye in Ascot. But the horse that was third was beaten 10 lengths the next time in a race. And they're 2 4-year-olds. So a 6-year-old in it. Well, you have Favour and Fortune there. The only defeat he has been in the Cheltenham Bumper last year, when it was 10th, I think, was it? But Farran Glory goes over from Gordon Elliott's yard, and this won the Lawlers and Ace. No, it didn't. It won the Royal Bond. I'm getting mixed up. The Royal Bond. And that's always a good guide. Some people are saying it wasn't a great race, but if you see how he won it, I thought he was in grand position and he lost position. That's him on the very left in the purplish colour. He finished up back about 8th.
As they've
coming
been
around
from
the turn, and then Shilly
Flagfall
ran
by
on.
What's Up Darling and Fad and Glory, then Facile Mode, who made a mistake there, hit that flight, and they're tracked by Encanto Bruno with less than half a mile to go and 2 flights left to jump. On Taba presses ahead by length, followed by Facile Mode, who's keeping in What's Up Darling, waiting on the railers are on Suderi, then Fad and Glory, making ground King of Kingsfield on the outside of a pushed along. And Glory Piala stock on the inside is on Taba, 100 yards to go. Farran Glory is getting up under Jack Kennedy and the Royal Bond. Second is King of Kingsfield, then on top of Bialystok with a break to What's Up Darling. A fine result for Gordon Elliott.
Well, it looked like he might have blown his chance with a really awkward jump in the final flight, but Farran Glory has been gathered up by Jack Kennedy and run down his stable.
They're sending him over, so winner of the Grade 1, that's the selection there. We can't forget our goo lovers on St. Stephen's Day, and we have a nice Class 2 race in Wolverhampton. The winner's getting 15,500 sterling, and we have a bus horse in it, Mount Athos. It won for us in Kempton 2 runs back, and then they sent it over to France for a race, and Christophe Soumian was riding it, and he got beaten by a short head in a race, in a listed race. It didn't go up, Anton, for that. It ran off 105. No. Mystic Ray would be the danger, I suppose, but what is your price is? 11 to 8, 5 to 4. Include them in your multiples, as they say. Limerick, you're a lady. Soft to heavy in places. I hope it's real heavy, but there's a horse there, back in trip, Rolly Bowley Boy. This is his third run over fences. This year. But he won in a handicap hurl for us January last year, 11 to 2. I think he was gambled on from 8 to 1 or something, but he was off 97. He's off 109 now. But he ran, he was well better in a couple of races there, but he likes double ground. I think this is a step down in class sort of for him, but he's a big old strong horse, and it should be no trouble to him to carry the big weight that he has. How's he carrying? 12 stone. Kieran Murphy and Owen Walsh. There isn't a lot. When you look at it, you say, well, what's in it? But I think Mallory's Cove is the favourite, but I think the ground might be too deep for him. It's an each way bet as well. Bit of money for me was 5s and 11 to 2 there earlier when I was looking at it a few hours ago, so there's a few pound for him. There's a nice little race there. What time is it at? The 135. 133. It's a grade 2 over 2 miles 7. We'll see the winners of this now first. Fury Road won it 1 year. Pin Hill, Farouk Delane, Eric Bloodaxe, Favreau de Chamdou. So decent beasts go past the post in first place in this one. We have Loch Lynn, called after the village in Roscommon. Tom Gilligan that owns him. He won with his head in his chest and after it was a maiden horse. It's a big step up in class, like, but he should like the ground. There is Gordon Elliott has 2 dangers: Stellar Story and Search for Glory. Search for Glory was third in Navan to Croke Park. It was beaten in 5.5 lengths that day, and then it won since. Beat Solitary Man in a Cork maiden. But Loch Lynn, I hope he wins it. He's a big galloping type. They'll have him out there in front. Who's on him? Sean O'Keefe. He hosed up in that race. He made one mistake, sort of, but his jumping in sort of was good enough, like, you know. He beat Firefox in a bumper. He was 9th in Cheltenham in the bumper. So that's one I hope will win. On to Down Royal. We done a double here last year. This is a double that I've done the last number of years. Probably, I don't know, could be the last 10 years. The Hunter's Chase in Down Royal and the bumper in Down Royal. Last year we done it, I think, till 6 or 7 to 1. Vasile won this race last year, but he's absolutely running brutal since. We backed him a couple of times after. Do you remember the day we backed him in Punchestown? And he nearly came out on top of me out to the rail where it was. And he was running 2 Hunter's Chases recently, and he was beaten at strong odds on. He was beaten at 1 to 2 and 2 to 5 in 2 Hunter's Chases. So he has lost 6 times he's been favourite since winning this race last year, and a few seconds on thirds in it. So he seems to have gone sour. So the new kid on the block in that stable is Ferns Lock. It's an 8-11 shot now. And Barry O'Neill leaves him and goes on to that one. Rob James is a good old replacement at the same time, though. But the two favourites in that particular race, we were on a horse called Faulty last year. Until then, he should have won it. He sort of careered over to the side too. But the favourite you'd imagine at 11-10 or even money there, that it should win this. We don't know what Lazy Bones is like, and it has a stat going for it as well, because a 4-year-old has won this more often than not. 3 years of the last 4 years, a 4-year-old has won it. Lucky Lyrene was last year, and Farouk Delane and Valdo. That was only 5-year-old Valdo. He was a good winner that day. What was he? He was, I think he was 8-1. But this Mongibelo, it was second in a listed bumper, Only by Night, and Only by Night has come out and hosed up in a maiden hurl since. So that's the forum that Gordon Elliott's horse has to Lazy Bones. So hopefully he's a bit lazier tomorrow or Tuesday than the selection. It's a 5-2, just over 5-2 double at 8-11 and 11-10. For those inclined, as they say. Leopardstown we come to. Now, there's a couple of races that I might add something in. I'm between. That Ascending has a rating of, this is a maiden hurl at the start, won by High Definition, wasn't it, last year? First race on the. There's a lot of. Hurdles removed, if I remember correctly. High Definition. He's a rating of 133, and that should be good enough. He was behind It's For Me in a bumper lately. But Willie has a couple in it. What else does Willie has in it? He has Another Way. That could be anything coming from France. And Cindy has to jump well as well, so. Not simple. Another maiden hurdle here. This talking horse the last few months, Visageur West. Reckon it's some sort of a machine that's going fierce well in Willie's at home. That's going to piss up. Mighty Bandit, it's supposed to be the one to win that. It has the best form to win the Grade 2. Now this is an interesting race. Belgo Prince, it was beaten a nose at 25-1 in this race 2 years ago. Pair of Kings won for us a couple of times. But I thought he'd step up and trip. But it's interesting that they're going for the 2 mile here. Keep an eye on the betting. We know where the handbrake might be. Laser Wolf is an interesting one for Conor Stone Walsh for the Cromwell Yard. I'll see what I'm going to do on maybe Christmas night or early before I go racing, if I have a chance to see what I'm going to do with that. I'll just monitor the betting to see. I'll have a look at the exchanges. Facile Vega, I hope, hacks up in this, or hacks up, I should say. I'm a Facile Vega fan. Handicap chase here. There's an interesting horse here. We're back to last year. It wasn't off the air. The Folkes Tiara. We might have a go at that again. Maybe a small few quid each way. There's a race in this for sure, but handbrake is an issue. And the bumper then, there's a talking horse here as well, Cantico, but it's owned by the owners of Gallopin de Champ. It's 33s into 16s for the Cheltenham bumper. I don't know whether the owners are the Cheltenham bumper people. They're more over hurdles and fences. And a lot of people sort of mind their horse for the following year, and it is only a 4-year-old, so I don't know. It was bought off the Schlatteries, won a pint to pint. It's supposed to be chipping away nicely. I never heard as many people onto me about it as the last month. So, Chenet. So, it's Christmas Eve, and a special thanks to everybody for all the nice comments on the last few days. It's always heartwarming to read them, because I know reading them that they're coming from the heart and they're genuine and well meant. We have followers all around the world, so no matter where you're in, Taiwan or Timbuktu, from Allenhead to Mizenhead, from Achill Island all the way over to Dublin Bay on the other side of the country, all over the UK. The UK, I have more followers in the UK than in Ireland, actually. People don't believe that, but it's true. We have them in America and Canada and Trinidad and Tobago. There's people watching every day. And India, China, Australia. So a big scatter. So no matter what time or where you watch this video, you'll be all singing with other people all over the world. So a happy Christmas to everybody, and a healthy one and a prosperous one, betting and in your own life as well. I know we've lost several people that was listening to me this time last year, and I wish the people that are left that they're able to cope and deal with the loss of loved ones, which can be very difficult at times. So with that, we'll all sing Silent Night. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glorious stream from heaven afar, heavenly hosts sing Alleluia. Christ the Saviour is born, Christ the Saviour is born. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. Happy Christmas. Bash the bookies, over and out.